and welcome to Get Better, a show about two longtime friends trying their best, growing up, and hopefully getting better. I'm Zach Johnson.
And I, Sam Cherry, I'm sitting at a direct 90-degree angle.
Hell yes.
To the left, I am not tilting to the right. I'm not tilting forward or backward. If you were to draw, hypothetically, a green line down the center of my body, it would be directly up and down. Zach, how are you sitting?
I have positioned my entire desk upward so that I am standing. I see. Almost.
Now, are you leaning though while you're standing?
No, I am almost holding my entire desk up just to maintain the integrity of this 90 degrees.
You've taken the legs taken your legs off your desk, and you are now just palming the desk.
Exactly.
And holding it up.
Yes.
Good. Well, and
I'm making sure I have gotten rid of all of my hanging plants because I realized that by them falling towards me, they were actually signaling their weakness. So those are in the garbage can.
I see. I actually took all of my books.
My desk is just sticks and sticks of bamboo that I have positioned around me so that I can remember strength.
All of the books in my bookcase that did not naturally stand up at a 90-degree angle on their own, I thought were too weak, and I threw them in the garbage can.
Yeah.
All of my food.
I threw away a 200-year-old copy of Dracula. I just threw it away. It was worth several $1,000s in the trash.
Perfect. That's good. Obviously, you, like I, have been following, I would say, guru, thought leader. Damn, should have figured out his fucking name before I tried to say it on the podcast. Rivolino, the artist,
yes,
who is a part of a new segment I would like to call Dr. Cherry's Cabinet of Insanos from the Internet. I'll work on the name.
I really thought it was. I thought the title was going to be Liar Boys. Like, are you?
Here's the thing. The Liar Boys are a part of Dr. Cherry's Insano Cabinet of Internet Weirdos.
Oh, okay.
They are a prominent section whom I love. Also, one of my friends has gotten really into Project Veritas, so that's been a fun thing to talk about on a regular basis.
That's good.
They are certainly inside Dr. Cherry's cabinet, but Rivolino, the artist, is the newest exhibit in my Internet Freak Show, which is a man whose entire
bit... Step right up for this guy. He is really one to behold.
He is a man whose entire bit... First of all, well, I guess this changed. I thought I saw when I sent it to you that his pinned tweet was... It must have just been his most recent tweet, which is very funny.
Yes.
Was to say it is not a parody account. Because, boy, it seems like a parody account. This guy takes photographs of happy couples and draws lines on them and has determined by his own sort of science that if the man is leaning at any degree, that means he is weak. And if he is standing straight, he is actually alpha and dominating the relationship.
It's actually incredible. I was trying to find the name of so this whole thing really came into prominence. There is this Instagram model whose first name is Emily and her last name is impossible to pronounce, and she has
is it Emirata?
Yes.
Oh. I didn't realize that's who that was.
Yeah, looks like it. But she has this photo of her holding a baby, and she's doing a bad job by by all standards, not doing a very good job holding the baby. But it's fine. But it is this picture of her holding a baby, and it's her standing up straight, and the baby is just kind of like draped over her, but still in her arms. And this what is this person's name again? Riviero? Rivolino.
That's what Rivolino. I want to say Riviero, but it isn't.
Rivolino had a picture of her, a green line going through her, and then a green line going through the baby, and showing that the baby was leaning away from her, thereby showing that she has dominance over the baby.
Yeah, and I think that was a joke making fun of this guy, because I have actually, much like how it works, this has actually been one of my little pet projects that I've been following for months and months and months.
Oh, you've been
I've
following Rivolino.
Oh yeah, my cabinet is full of
Oh.
weirdos. Yeah, no, I knew him. He just recently popped up again when someone posted maybe Emrata. Is it? She's a model. There's this model called Emrata.
Yes.
Her first name is Emily. I don't know.
I think it is her.
Anyway.
Rada is the first part of her last name. The last of it is
probably
just seemingly very Polish.
Oh, well, there you go. Hold on. Now, when I did sneeze, I stayed perfectly perpendicular. All right.
Excellent.
So I did not lean in any way. But what's great is it'll be lots of photographs of people who are like on their wedding day and very happy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, yeah, but look, he's lean. A lot of them is the guys who are taller than women, and they'll just sort of lean. And the green line thing, I can't. He'll often, like, here's a picture of John Lennon and
Yoko Ono.
Wife, who, nope, she is white, but she didn't put out any albums, so I do not know her name. She might have put out albums. I have no idea who this is. Anyway, John Lennon, who is leaning in while his arms around this woman, and she has a mostly straight dotted line. I don't really understand the difference between the dotted and the straight lines, but that's how it is. And a little word bubble that says, I'm going to cheat on you.
Mm-hmm.
A thought bubble, I'm sorry. And his catchphrase, you lean, you lose. Now you might be thinking, oh, is this just like a weirdo? No, this is also a guy. See, like, this is a picture of two people kissing with their children, and they're both leaning in.
Yeah.
And he says, don't lean in for a kiss. Don't make this face. This is what's interesting, is it's a guy who is happy on Christmas kissing his wife with his two children.
Yeah, those are the ones that were getting a lot of the press. It was ones where it's like UFC fighters or like big tough guys that I don't really recognize, but I'm assuming are UFC fighters. They are wearing matching pajamas, and it's just like if you're wearing matching pajamas, then you're weak, and like you've entered into her chaos. It is like it. I was talking to someone about this. It is sexism that goes so far beyond parody that it exists in this extremely weird, like, negative zone where
like this. Yeah, go ahead.
you just don't know. It's like it is so outlandish that it has to be real, because not even someone joking about this could come up with something this bonkers.
Right, like these. Ooh, I do not know who this other football player is, but he's wearing a Lakers jersey. It's Tom Brady, and he's sitting up straight. Also, the more you look at these photos, the more the lines do seem to be a bit arbitrary. Like, well, wait a minute, why does that one count as an angle and the other one doesn't? This one's very clear. Tom Brady's sitting up straight. Tom Brady's wife, she's got her head on his shoulder, so a very clear lean with the dotted line across her face, and it says, and he's thinking, this is why I won. Cut to other sportsman who I do not know, and he's sitting really happily hugging a woman, but he is kind of leaned over towards her. Although, I mean, see, this is the other thing, because it's also relative to the photograph, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but if you put their two lines are perpendicular, anyway. So, they're both leaned over, but for some reason, him leaning is the bad one, and it says, this is why I lost. I assume this is actually one of the first posts I saw by them. So it couldn't be June 8th. I don't know. Anyway, lots of very happy people, and then he's sort of putting thought bubbles above their head that's like, yes, I'm going to cheat on you. Yes, this is why we're getting divorced. But it's like, but why? It's great.
It's the lean, man. It's the
lean. But that's not all the sexism. We actually have a series, his pinned post. Also, wait. It's my friends Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell.
Oh, right, good. Welcome back to the podcast, guys.
Now this is the photo, I believe, where they cropped out Trump and Melania. I think this is the Trump and Melania photo. But Jeff is standing straight up, and Ghislaine is leaning in, and she is thinking, if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. Don't worry, Ghislaine, you aren't. All right, let's scroll up to the top. Most famous sex trafficker in the world. Scrolling up to the top. A lot of nudity. Okay. Not Ghislaine Maxwell, but just on the page. Man, boy, I'm really down here. Oh, have you seen the Royals?
Yeah, there. So to the audience, there is a lot. I've just been zipping through these. There is quite a lot of extra added attention to the royalty, like to William and Harry. The one of the ones that is with William is really puzzling. It's William and Kate leaning in to kiss each other on their wedding day. And it has these two children, one to the left going, pathetic, and the other one thinking, why is he leaning in? It is...
Because they're kissing on their wedding day. But that's the thing is, like...
Yeah, they're kissing on
their wedding day.
Yeah, and he's taller than her.
Weird.
I don't... Yeah, and like, the ones that are people not leaning in... The ones that were like the man is like straight and then the woman is like leaned in is like they're clearly staged photos, and I bet if I looked in that very same photo log, I would see one to the contrary of that.
Well, yeah, also considering that like there's one where there's a UFC fighter and he's very tall and he's very strong, and he is like so tall that he can't comfortably stand up straight and put his arms around the shoulders of the woman he's taking a photo with.
Mm-hmm.
So he leans down because he's just so much taller than her. Or maybe it's her waist. I don't know. Doesn't matter. There's more about Meghan and Harry. Yeah,
those are ones that get a little bit more attention, which I quite
like. There's a lot of thumb talk.
Yeah, so one of them is there's two extra added bonuses. There is the thumb, which is if you maintain thumb control, which is hilarious. If you maintain thumb control as a man, then you're in control of the relationship. I tested this with my girlfriend, and you bet your ass I have thumb control. And another one was like so there's thumb control, and there's one that
she can't be a lawyer. That's one.
We'll get to that in a second.
So weird.
Yeah. So you can't have thumb control, but more specifically, one that I thought was interesting was like having her hand on your thigh. No. That is her. That is her asserting dominance over you. And I was just kind of like, oh. Sometimes that's nice, but I guess not. I guess that's like
normal.
Asserting dominance.
The whole bit is like this weird, like just regular signs of affection. Like people obviously happy, and then he finds these like phrenology, but for body language, where it's like, which I guess body language, a lot of it seems like phrenology anyway. But like, it's this weird like, oh, but secretly, did I ever tell you this short story? One time my cousin, he's my older cousin, and I was in mid-high school or something, and he was applying for jobs, so he's a bit older than me. And we were getting dinner with the family, and he was like, yeah, I just got back from a job interview, and they made me do a handwriting analysis, which I know because I took a forensics class in high school. There are like patterns based on like how you write things. Like people have a pattern to how they write. Like do they slant their R's? Do they slant their O? Or not slant. Yeah, I guess slant their O's. Do they climb up the line? Do they climb down the line? There's all these like patterns. But then there's this weird like what I think is kind of pseudoscience where it's like, yeah, if you draw your E's like this, that means that you're 20% more psychotic. And this guy had to do that for a job interview, which sucks. But Rivolino, the artist, has sort of taken this, I mean, let's be honest, to an art form where he's taken the same kind of meaningless gestures of body language, and he's like, that actually means that they hate you.
Yeah. But he's also kind of like, he's taken in this other much like, because the green lines thing is just so outwardly ridiculous that it's so hilarious.
Insane.
Yeah, but he has taken this other thing where at the very bottom of one of his threads, it's just very much like class versus ass or whatever the hell, and it's just it's just like a girl that looks like Grace Kelly next to a girl that has tattoos, and it's just that for like 100 posts.
Tattoos are a big no-no. Yeah, well, and also it's like girls like walking out of Sunday church next to girls in lingerie, and it's like, yep. And it's like, you don't think these were probably taken at different times? You don't think these are maybe two different situations that you might be documenting here? It's like, nope, this one picture is this entire girl's life, and this other picture is the other entire girl's life. It's like, okay, cool.
And
right, yeah, sure.
he's
sure,
kind
gotcha.
of, yeah, so he's incredible in that he has fallen into what would be considered as Twitter's villain of the day. This might be even to say, like, this is more of a Twitter villain of the day thing, or just like, a oddity that exists sideways. And I've just sent you a text of a villain of the day from a few weeks ago that had
I will be honest, I am vehemently against. Oh, I did see this post. I'm vehemently against the idea of a villain of the day. Just want to put that on the record, because one day it'll be me.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I just want to put it.
One day it'll be you, but then
apologize.
one day you'll get your bag because of being the villain of the day. So
that's true.
Tit for tat.
I will not apologize, but I know that one day it's coming for me. Yes. Would you like to talk about this post? I am familiar with this, and also the people making fun of him were very, very funny.
Yeah, just briefly. So I've sent. If you're familiar, there is a game called Dawn Horizons, I believe. Ooh. And it is this game where you play as a female character named Ellie. Or wait, not as Ellie. You play as a female character named someone. I don't know. I do not know enough about video games to play it to talk about this. Apparently, but
it's the Robot Dinosaur game.
It's the Robot Dinosaur game. Exactly. There's a game where you play as this girl who beats up robot dinosaurs, and this guy sent a picture of a picture of the character who just looks like a person that would be fighting robot dinosaurs. And
a human woman in prehistoric times.
A woman in prehistoric times or prehistoric future times. And next to them, it is like this crest whitening model. And it's just this horrible, horrible, like, mix of, like, it just looks like how Rivolino, what's his name again? What is this guy's name?
Rivolino.
Rivolino.
I don't know.
It is just how Rivolino. This guy somehow found his way into the zeitgeist, Rivolino. But before him, this guy that has posted this thing of two women side by side, one of them who looks like a prehistoric robot fighting woman, and the other one that looks just like a generic, like, Wheel of Fortune model. They have put them side by side, and the post says, is it just me, or is Sony making their lead female protagonist look masculine as hell? Barely no curves or rough, non-feminine features. Unlike the average woman. Just saying my 2 cents. Pick from the game on the left, fan made on the right. Higher fans, LOL. Which is...
Now, what's interesting, because if you look at the woman's face, I mean, it's a real... And Rivolino is certainly doing a similar thing. I see why you bring this up, because it's a real, like, sort of Freudian... And by that I mean like Freudian slip, where it's like, hey dog, you're kind of telling on yourself here. This is real weird. Because her whole face is a circle. Like, he's like, no, like, we can't see her, I can't see her body, I've never played the game, and you can't see it in the photo, but it's like, no curves and rough masculine features. Her face is like an oval face. Like, it is a feminine face.
Yeah.
Like, it is, like, she doesn't have cheekbones, and I think that's what he's noticing, because in the fan-made one, there's really high cheekbones,
and she's also smiling with a giant bright white smile. Yeah, which makes her cheek muscles look big. But you know, and she's wearing makeup. Yeah.
But like, it's so crazy when you see it, because it's just like, that's like, what do you think dudes look like? I mean, it goes
back to that one artist we talked about, the Captain America artist.
Oh, fuck, what's that guy's name?
I'm looking it up right now.
It's the guy who drew Pouch Man or whatever. Rob Liefeld. Rob Liefeld is who you're talking about.
Yes, yeah, this is it. So yeah, it is a similar design where there is, like, he drew this picture of Captain America, and his chest is like jetted out so far that he does not have anywhere near human proportions.
Yeah, she looks like a human woman, and it's incredibly weird. And similar to Rivolino, where it is, well, let's just get through a couple of his rules. We've already talked about tattoos, being a lawyer, Now, most of these are too vile for me to repeat, even on our explicit podcast, but I'll just give you a couple of them that aren't gross. Number 1, don't lean in. Pull her into you. Number 2, nope, not going to say that one. All right. Be a man she can't control. Arguing with her is following into her frame. I'd like to go to number 6. Number 5. Men have to create their value. Women have to protect their value. Number 6. Every girl is practice. Let's skip all the way down to 11. She is like a child. That's the whole rule.
It.
She is like. Now there's one that I'm. Okay, number 21. Whip it out and win. That seems like a crime.
There's one here. You passed one, number 7, which just says 3 ways to her heart.
That's the one I was looking for.
Yeah,
no other information.
And that's it.
The rest are mostly not gross.
You know, it really.
Not that I'm going to say on this podcast. 31. More makeup, more lies.
Yeah, we talked about this. I'm so sorry. These are so puzzling. We've talked about this is like
vile.
Getting into the zeitgeist of this is someone who is riding the coattails and probably is someone that is like, you know, a precursor too. Because this cat's been doing this weird
forever.
Shit. Yeah, this is not a new phenomenon. This guy's constantly retweeting himself from like years ago, and he's been saying weird shit.
45. She will destroy you if you let her.
Yeah, this is like a precursor to Sigma mentality. You know,
yes,
like
he is a Sigma male, 100%.
Yeah, so he has like, and the problem is yeah, like, you know, we can roast him all the day long, but yeah, there's just tons of people that if you go through the replies. Or when it's someone replies to the tweet and just like mocks it, there's like a billion of those. But some of them, there is like people in the comments that are just like, hell yeah, there's a crisis in masculinity.
Yeah. And it's me personally not getting sex.
Yeah.
Which is what they all mean. If anyone says that, it's like, oh, what you mean is you personally not getting sex.
Yeah. And it's. Yeah, it's incredibly weird stuff. But definitely does he falls into, if there is a specific cabinet that exists in Dr. Sam's cabinet of weird. There's a specific
a drawer.
If there's a drawer, this guy definitely lives in that cabinet. There's lots of drawers in here, and what's in this drawer? I've never seen this drawer before.
It's a big cabinet. And you know what? Your boy does live in it. Not me, your boy, but our boy Frank Dux does live in this cabinet.
Our boy does live
sure.
And he does live in this cabinet. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Zach's Secret Book Club, an American's Warriors uncensored story. Hello, everyone.
Who would censor this man? He's so perfect.
Hello, everyone. Talking about Rivolino, there is a man that predates Rivolino and all of the Sigma males, because we are talking, of course, about the original Sigma male. We are talking about
the
Frank
Alpha
Dux.
Sigma male, as you might.
The Alpha Sigma male. He is a Sigma male that people write legends about. Like when people started going Super Saiyan in Dragon Ball Z, they were like, I've only ever seen it happen one time, and it was hundreds of years ago. That is who Frank Dux is. He is.
We need to do like 15 more episodes about Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. So
such a wild show. Anyway, yeah. Tell me about.
So Frank Dux is he's a CIA operative. He is a covert boy. He does missions, and he's the best kisser, and he is the best man, and he is the secret man, and that's what we're talking about.
He was my best man.
Yeah, that was really strange. He also he showed up only for a couple of pictures. Actually, no, he didn't even show up for pictures. He showed up, but he left.
He's too secret.
He somehow found a way out of all the pictures because he is the secret man. Which is very funny that you mention that, because before we get into the secret man, I was going to mention this last week, but we didn't get to it. But there is a break that happens in the secret man, and your boy Frank Dux decided to put in a collection of just pictures. There is a whole middle section that is just pictures of. I'm only going to send you one of the pictures, but I will briefly explain the rest. So we have pictures of Frank
with a bunch of lenses.
There's one that says world record bulletproof glass break. It's just a picture of him looking like not even him looking like he's to punch something. There's a picture of just him doing martial arts, like breaking boards, him selling shirts, I guess.
Cool.
And then so that
Offline, you have to send me every one of these.
Yeah. That would be all well and good, but then we get into like the Bloodsport stuff, which is just like, this is me on set of Bloodsport, and it just seems like him kind of inserting himself into a situation where people did not ask him to be.
Yeah, sure, I can imagine.
So yeah, yeah. So there's a collection of pictures of him, just kind of zipping and whipping around. There's one that I find that is very cute. It's a picture of him, clearly him, and it says, "No, that's not Jean-Claude Van Damme, but myself in 1975." And
cool.
In parentheses under each of these pictures of himself, it is written in italics, courtesy of the author. Yeah, no fucking duh.
Yeah, dude.
But then we get into pictures of not him. It's
Tight.
a bunch of pictures of like army people doing real army stuff, or like CIA people doing CIA stuff. It is just
what?
He is not in a single one of these, but rather it's just like a sort of, it's like a collage of like people doing
just like shit he thinks is cool.
Yeah, people doing shit he thinks is cool, like big planes, a boat going really fast, people doing submarine diving.
He's so cool.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of that. There's one that just talks about halo jumps, which that's
Sure.
high altitude, low oxygen. I don't know what it's called. Low opening, I believe, but it's like
my dumb ass thought those were literally named after Halo the game. I thought it was like, I've heard of Halo jumps.
Yeah,
and I actually thought it was like, like the jumps from Halo.
High altitude, low opening. But it's not. There's not pictures of him. But there is one.
No, of course not. Never done any of those things.
There is one of him, like at a SWAT training, and it's him like pointing a bunch of people around on how to do SWAT training. How the hell he was able to pull this off? It's like actually him in front of like a bunch of CIA or a bunch of SWAT people, like training them in how to do SWAT, which makes me believe
I can't see the photos, but really, could it be a photo of him just talking to a crowd?
It's a group of, it's him talking to a bunch of guys in front of a SWAT van, and it's just like them listening to him as he's like pointing. It's a.
Could it be, I'm gonna be at the hot dog truck over there?
It possibly could be, because he is wearing goggles on a hat. Not a helmet, a hat. It's just like a baseball cap. Like the rest of them are clearly wearing helmets, like ready to do shit, and he is wearing goggles on a baseball hat.
So cool.
So we move along. There's just pictures, like more pictures of him, and then we start getting into Secret Man territory.
How are there so many pictures in this book?
There are a lot. It's mostly pictures for a big section of it.
Wait, no, realistically, like how many pages do you think this is?
How many pages are the pictures? I don't know, like 20.
What?
Yeah, there's just a bunch of pictures, and it's it's a good chunk. It's a good chunk of the book. Yeah,
I'm reading a book about The Wire right now, and there's like 5 pages of pictures from a television show that they recorded the whole thing of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's other stuff, like, so we get the Secret Man stuff, and it's just like it's more picture. It's the picture of him with all of his goggles or all of his lenses.
My
there's
favorite
a picture
picture
of him standing in front of guns, being a cool boy, wearing sunglasses inside, being a cool boy.
Of course.
And there's pictures of like him when he was younger, but there is one series of pictures in particular that I am going to send to you because they need to be seen to be believed. And once I send this to you, I would like for you to, in the best way you can, please describe them to the audience.
Can you send them on the robot?
I will send it to you via text message.
Okay. My smaller robot that I keep in my pocket. Ah, there it is. Okay, now wait a minute. Oh, I know what this is. Now, now wait a minute. I know what this is, but okay. So, all right. So I'm gonna save the leftmost picture for last because it's my favorite. It is 3 pictures of 3 completely different men, who look nothing alike in any way whatsoever. Oh nope! Turns out it's Frank the Chameleon. Just 3 of hundreds of disguises I adopted,
So,
courtesy of the author.
yeah.
So I don't totally know. I don't really know what Frank looks like a whole lot. The first picture is like, well, I guess what you could, or the picture on the right is like him in a mustache.
So
But
I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
So I'll send you a picture of his face from the back of the book. But I've been looking at these for a good bit, and I can tell you that Frank, just wandered his ass into like a wig store for the one that is on the left, or the one that's on the right. The one that's on the right, it looks like he is doing a Tim and Eric bit. Like he looks like Tim. He looks like Tim Heidecker. Like he and like he has done something with his cheeks to make them look puffier. Like I think
that's
he's
the one
like,
on the left. That's the craziest one. Where it looks like he's just.
I think he's just like blowing air into his cheeks. Like he's just kind of like just kind of like Kirby blowing his cheeks up. The one below that is just him. He has slicked his hair backwards and he's wearing just like sunglasses.
But they made the lighting all weird, so the bottom of his face is dark, but it's like very still clear. Also, he has a very distinct mole on his right side of the face and a very distinct scar on the left side of his face. So like really easy to pick out.
Yeah. So
now I'm looking. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say. Well, he slicked back his hair, and as you can see, his hair is kind of like it's kind of messier because he doesn't really do his hair because he's a secret man who doesn't have time to do his hair.
Now wait, I take something back because if you look at the lens photo of our boy, he does not have the mole or the scar, so maybe that is part of the disguise. Oh, fuck,
well, then so here's the thing about that.
But then why did he?
The bottom one and the right hand one both have the same mole and the same scar, and his hair is done the exact same way.
So he just took off the mustache and put on sunglasses.
Yes, but he took off the mustache and put on sunglasses, and he's like, I'm a chameleon.
I'm a chameleon. I went from wearing a tweed jacket to this black jacket.
Oh my gosh!
And I think the one on the left is
I actually did not notice that because the more when I'm looking through pictures of him, I am not seeing any mole nor a scar, but he has included both of them in both of his designs. Bad chameleoning, Frank. Bad chameleoning.
Also, because he's just wearing what is like a black shirt in the leftmost photo, he looks like he is doing a sketch where he's playing Steve Jobs. Like, he looks like he's doing a bad Steve Jobs. Like, it's clearly Frank, but, like, he's got this weird wig on. He's clearly puffing up his cheeks because it's not a way that any human being looks. Like, it's like his face is bigger. It's, like, lopsided. Like, one side is kind of droopy. So like,
it's like if you got stung by 2 bees, but one was bigger than the other one.
Is that the disguise? As you got stung by 2 bees?
Got stung by 2.
This man is unbelievable. Anyway, he does look like Steve Jobs, who got stung by 2 bees.
Yeah, but anyway, Frank is a chameleon, and this is just one of his 3 of his many disguises. So
hundreds of disguises.
Yeah, so that's basically all the pictures are just like him doing. I mean, I will send you all the pictures.
Please. But
we
got to get into the chapter with the secret technologies, though.
Yeah. So when last we left our hero, Frank Dux was in St. Louis, where he was tracking down a series of murders that were all being done with Russian bullets from a KGB gun, and he found the killer, or he found the gun rather, and it was found by this guy whose name was
Toots.
Toots, you're correct. His name was Toots, and he confronted Toots, and there was a big fight, but it's okay because Frank had a credit card which he had put into some sort of shiv, and was able to ward off Toots and the other guy that was there. And then he found that the gun, Toots just found it in an alleyway. And now Frank is looking for whomever this gun was left by. And it's kind of confirmed that it might be Fish, who is...
I had a question about that.
Yes.
Because you mentioned in the last segment that he had a dream or something about a big fish. Frank contemporarily, St. Louis Frank, has not encountered fish yet, right?
No, he didn't have a dream about fish. He was saying that he was a fisherman and he was out to get a fish.
But no one has... Okay, so maybe you've left this out. No one has said there's a guy named Fish yet.
Yeah, the beginning of the book was a...
Right, of course, I remember.
Yeah, it started somewhere towards the middle.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm saying, does St. Louis Frank think there's a guy named Fish he's looking for?
No, he didn't. Fish was never capitalized. I think this is him peppering in the audience, like he's reminding us, like, uh-oh, like you guys
Fish
remember
from
this?
The scene.
Yeah.
Because it opens with that scene from Mission
Impossible. Yeah, because
3.
Frank, the writer of the book, has experienced all of these things. And
right.
so he is peppering back in that this is the first time that he was like, oh, there's something fishy going on, and I'm a fisherman, and I'm going to catch this fish.
You're going to catch fish from Mission Impossible 3. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, proceed.
Okay, so we join our hero in this very strange flashback sequence, but it's not a flashback of it. It's like when you are setting up a series of events in a movie, but it requires a little bit of historical context. And we are flashed to Monday, April 2nd, 1979, in a small Russian village where there was this... there was a windstorm, like a storm, wind, rain, all that sort of stuff. And 3 days after this windstorm, a group of people got extremely sick, and they're all being found in this apartment building. And what was down the road from this apartment building was a secretive place called a Compound 19 facility. And as it turns out, that Compound 19 was storing anthrax. And the anthrax was, released into the air and ended up killing a lot of people. And I looked this up. This actually happened. Frank is pulling something from actual real life, like a real life tragedy in Russia during like the 1970s, and he's pulling it into this really weird spy book.
His spec script for Mission Impossible 8.
So there is this introduction of this anthrax that got its way into got its way into the air, killed a bunch of people, and the KGB ended up, like, they rewrote a bunch of the records and they tried to cover it up, but it got out. So it would have been something that just sort of happened secretly, and no one wouldn't have gotten out. But like, we found out about it, so now it's this big thing. But so we introduce, or like this, the chapter opens on just like a very Wikipedia style retelling of that event. And
this is classic Frank, taking a real thing that real happened or that he really heard about, and then just putting himself in a Mario outfit, standing outside watching it or whatever. I understand he's not in this scene, but like, it's a real thing that happened, and he's just like, also it's a part of my thing. Yeah,
so imagine that has like happened in a movie, and then it cuts to present day, which is the 1990s, and Casey and Frank are having a meeting. Bill Casey, his boss / a guy he hates because he hates the CIA because he has his own code.
To be fair, you should hate Bill Casey, but
yeah. So, well, he's dead. So,
great.
He's telling Frank that he wants Frank to work with a Soviet operative. That he wants there to be a person from the CIA who is going to be Frank, the secret man, working secretly with a KGB officer. And they're going to have to do a little bit of a team up. And so...
Avengers Assemble.
Yeah, they're going to have to do a little bit of a buddy cop, Lethal Weapon style team up where it is someone from the CIA who is not really from the CIA because he has his own oath and has his own code.
Sure.
To someone who is working for the KGB. And,
but they're trying to catch the KGB.
they're trying to catch the KGB, but it has something to do with this biochemical weapon, that there is this anthrax that apparently it started disappearing, from like
I see.
from the
Someone stealing from the KGB.
someone is stealing from the KGB,
anthrax.
and they think it is America, but it's not, and they need America's help and resources and a big dick secret man to help them solve the case because they're too incompetent to do it themselves.
So he's no longer in St. Louis. That story ended.
No, that story ended, and so
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
This
so
is unrelated. I mean, we know, of course, it is related.
Yeah.
Because
Because otherwise, why else would he have included all that weird racism? It has to be related. He wouldn't just do that for no reason.
But so far, other than the Russian connection, as far as we know, the murders in St. Louis that for some reason Frank needed to go investigate, are unrelated to this story about anthrax.
Yeah. So
Okay,
it starts with him. So he is being tasked with working with a KGB agent. And so he arrives in Langley and he says,
they did all the time in the 70s.
Yes. He says the first weird thing, which is, once on the ground in Langley, I wasn't sure if I had enough time to sleep off the Royal Crown or Coca-Cola from the previous night's celebration.
Sick.
Which is weird.
Celebration with who?
Nothing. That was it. That's all he said.
Oh, okay.
And so, he just says that, and then we move right along, and he's talking about how the night before he had both a Royal Crown and a Coca-Cola, which is just a weird thing to say that I just wanted to point out. And we are moved to... Mm-hmm.
Not RC Cola. Royal Crown, the alcohol.
Oh, Crown Royale. Oh my gosh,
wait.
Sam, you figured it out. You cracked the secret code.
Was it Crown Royale or is it Royal?
Yes,
or is
it's
it RC
Crown
Cola?
Royale. I was reading it backwards.
You
Oh
were
my
reading
gosh.
RC Cola.
You deciphered it backwards.
Hey, you know me and ciphers.
Oh my gosh! Wow, from all the way over there, you're not even holding the book, and you because it is called like Royal Crown Cola, and this is Crown Royale, and I read it backwards. Oh my gosh, I got secret manned.
Also, you have dyslexia, so that's a good thing to know.
That's true.
That's true. So he was drinking a Crown Royale and Coke by himself, I guess.
Yeah, in some sort of celebration.
Something.
Yeah, of something, that's for sure. But so he meets up with Bill, and Bill says something. He says it says that his disguise looks terrible, and he goes like, "I'm not wearing a disguise." And he says, "Well, that's the worst wig I've ever seen." And he says, "I've got my own hairpiece attached to my head, and it's real." Which is just, and that is like one of the other things that I just wanted to bring up, because it's just one of those frankisms that he just has to pepper it in an interaction that we already know didn't really happen. He has to pepper in that he has real hair.
Fully made up. Also, we've seen, in context of the fact that he is a chameleon who wears hundreds of disguises.
Yeah.
And wait a minute. Bill Casey knows what he looks like.
Yeah. But
why would Bill Casey be like, "You're wearing a disguise"? Doesn't he just look like has he worn a disguise every other time he's talked to Bill Casey?
Sam, I really think that you are misinterpreting how much Frank wants the audience to know that he has real hair.
Because in the context of that story, Bill Casey has met with him several times on park benches for understandable reasons, but sure, he's met with him several times, assuming that he hasn't worn a disguise every other time. Frank would just look like Frank.
Yeah.
So why would he think he's wearing a disguise?
Because his hair looks terrible, and Frank needed
to let him know. Because it didn't happen, and
yeah, because
I
think you cracked the code, much like the Crown Royale thing. You cracked the code from this end of the podcast too.
Well, it's like when we talk about directors who just think in moments, right? Where they have a scene or like a shot, and they're like, "Oh, I want to do this cool shot," and it's like, "Yeah, but does that shot make sense?" Or does that scene make sense with the whole story? That's how Frank is writing, where he's like, I want to do this cool line.
Where I talk about how my hair is real.
Right. It doesn't make any sense because you've met Bill Casey a dozen times.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So he is he's tasked with working with the KGB. And it is about they kind of, in this really weird way, they fully recount Bill Casey talking to Frank fully recounts the events of that anthrax breakout in Compound 19. So
Yeah, Pat's book.
they just say it over again, which is really, really puzzling. They just like go and like, yeah, I know, I already read this. Like he like just
feels like you didn't need that flashback chapter.
Yeah. So he just puts
part.
that there. But yeah, he says like they're talking about this compound 9. They're talking about this compound 19 thing, and they're talking about how they are looking for this missing anthrax. And then Frank says, I laughed. A name just popped in my head. Delphi 9. Delphi 9, which is the name of this chapter. Delphi 9. What? Casey's jaw sagged in perplexity. Delphi 9. James Bond. Goldfinger.
Am I having a stroke? Is that what it says word for word?
It says Delphi 9. James Bond. Goldfinger. I have looked up Delphi 9 or Delphi and James Bond so many times in trying to kind of figure out what the hell is going on. And I think that I know the answer. It took me a really long time.
You cracked the code.
I cracked the code. So I have found where Delphi comes from. It is the name of the book publisher of James Bond.
Okay.
So Delphi is like how I found it was I was typing Delphi Goldfinger, Delphi James Bond, and it was like Delphi Ian Fleming, and then I was like Ian Fleming, the writer of James Bond. Hell yeah! And then it was just like yes, Delphi published the James Bond novels, and I was like, oh, like a book publisher? They're the ones that published James Bond, and it was like yeah. So this is the equivalent of him being like Penguin Press. Frankenstein's monster, like something like
Delphi?
that.
Never mind. I actually don't need it. James,
Delphi
is Goldfinger the 9th James Bond book?
I believe so.
James Bond books in order.
Oh yeah, I think. Oh my gosh, you may have been cracking another code.
1, 2. Hey, also, you know what the first one is?
What?
Casino Royale.
Oh wow.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it is the 7th.
Oh well, damn.
What the fuck is? Wait, hold on. That can't be true. It has to be the 9th one, right? What the fuck is he talking about? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we've got Casino Royale, Live and Let Die, Moonraker, Diamonds Are Forever, From Russia with Love, Dr. No, Goldfinger. That's number 7.
Well, here's the thing. I think that you accidentally had a better idea, a cooler thing than what Frank has.
Okay, what is the 9? What's the significance of the 9?
I do not know. That is where I spent most of my research, was trying to find out what the hell this even means. What Delphi 9 even means. It's just Delphi, the book publisher, and 9. And he has the audacity to say of Bill Casey, a man he has never met, he has the audacity to say of him, what? Casey's jaw sagged in perplexity. Yeah, because it's stupid. Because it's incredibly stupid. And I don't know
what this reminds me of.
I don't know what this is in reference to. I don't understand it. But what I can say is that Frank was so tickled pink by his clever whatever this is, that for the remainder of the book, when I was cycling through to see, when the plot was going to start. And the thing I kept seeing over and over again was Delphi 9. Throughout the rest of the book, I kept seeing, as I was cycling through the rest of the book, I keep seeing Delphi 9. So not only is this a joke, in quotations, but it is the major driving factor for the rest of this book is Delphi 9.
Okay, yeah, so this reminds me of, when I was a kid, I know a little bit about cars now, but when I was a kid, I used to always feel kind of weird about I felt like I didn't know cars.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons I didn't is because I knew these kids, just this would happen where a car would drive by and the kid would be like, "Oh, that's a Nissan Versa." Fuck. This kid, do people just know cars? They can just see a car, cuz to me all cars look the same basically, with your exceptions of your Mustangs. Stuff. They're pretty much every sedan looks the same.
Yeah.
Of course, as I got older, I realized no, that was probably like the one car they knew what it looked like. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
this was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
the only car they knew what it looked like, but I didn't know, and I just sort of filled in the gaps and assumed, oh, if they knew that. This feels like that, where he's
Mhm.
like Delphi 9, and it's like it's just one thing he knows. It's like a thing he
Yeah.
knows, and he's like, yeah, everybody knows Delphi 9, don't you? And it's like, no, this is the one thing you just learned today, and you're
Yeah.
gonna act like everybody fucking knows what that is,
Yeah,
even though the
yeah.
9 seems
But
like nothing.
yeah, but the thing is, because it's so puzzling, because this is the only time I mean, as far as I know, this is the only time they reference it. Maybe they'll talk about it more later, but it's just Delphi 9, Delphi, James Bond, Goldfinger. Goldfinger
seventh
also has
book.
nothing to do with anything. This is not like, we're not tracking down a guy that turns people into gold, and we're not tracking down someone who, this isn't a James Bond villain. We're trying to, he's named the anthrax that they're trying to find Delphi 9 for no reason.
Okay, so it has nothing to do in context with like. It has nothing to do with anything. When he says
it has
Delphi
nothing
9,
to do with
so
anything. It has absolutely nothing.
what does Bill Casey say before that?
What
He
is
just
Bill
tells him
Casey?
there's anthrax, and
no,
he's like,
he recounts the entire story that I talked to you about at the beginning.
okay, and then he just says,
And then he
words
says
Delphi
and then
9.
Frank is like, I laughed to myself and I came up with something, Delphi 9. And Bill Casey's like, what? And he's like, Delphi, James Bond, Goldfinger. And then it's like, now this is what it's called for the rest of the book, and you just have to accept that.
Okay, sure. Sounds good.
So when I refer to Delphi 9 for the remainder of the book, which, as I've said previously, is most of the rest of the book, it's just going to be the anthrax they're looking for. It's the super bioweapon.
That's why you're saying it's in the rest of the book. You're saying he now calls the super anthrax instead of whatever name it had. They call it Delphi 9.
Yes. It's a code name, you see, where no one knows what the code means.
Okay, I see. All right, got it. Got it.
So anyway, moving right along, he's tasked to work with the KGB, and you think to yourself, why is Frank going to work with the KGB? That's a stupid question. He's going to work for the KGB because he's a secret man, and because he's off the books of the CIA, then he can move with impunity throughout all of the other fucking agencies.
Right.
He's Bill Casey's ace in the hole. You see, he's the ace up his sleeve. So yeah, obviously that's why Frank is going to go do this, and he meets this guy, or he said he's going to meet this guy whose name is Pope, and that is the KGB agent that he is going to work with. So basically, there's two really important things I need you to remember from this chapter, that is Delphi 9, and his Russian contact is Pope. That is going to be the person that he is spending the rest of the time with. What's really funny is that the Russian contact, his name isn't Pope, but Frank calls him Pope because he thinks it's funny. Because it's like, you're a big, mean Russian. I'm going to call you Pope.
Like the Pope?
Like the Pope.
Your Honor, I would like to bring forth a couple pieces of evidence. Now, I was going to ask that Frank in court now explain Delphi 9, but I may have sorted it out. I would like him to walk through the Pope thing if you get a chance.
So,
but Your Honor, I'd like to.
I can help you with that, Your Honor. I'm going to help Frank out a little bit because he might not remember because it was so long ago. His name is Popov, and Frank calls him Pope for short, and then says, "I don't think Pope ever caught on my joke. He certainly was no priest." And that's the joke. The joke is that he's a mean guy, and he calls him Pope, and he thinks it's funny because it's like, "Ha, I'm going to call you Pope, but you're no saint."
I see. Delphi 9 is actually a chemical compound that is highly poisonous.
Oh, did you find it?
I did. It is the name. I think maybe Delphi for the James Bond thing, but also it's not really a double entendre because the 9 doesn't work for the James Bond thing.
Delphi 9.
Delphi, DELPHININE. Delphi 9. It is.
See, I didn't.
Also an herbal medicine.
I didn't include them as one thing.
Well, I just what did I type?
Might have typed in Delphi 9.
I typed it. You know what? I spelled out 9. Spelled out NINE, and that's what got it.
Well, there is
Crack the code.
you crack the code, but also there is no reference of this having anything to do with anthrax, it seems.
No, it does not. I have been reading it while we've been talking. It has nothing to do with anthrax.
Oh.
It can be poisonous, but in small doses, it can be a herbal
Okay,
medicine.
so it's him doing a bit of a funny little joke.
But more confusing because he's calling the anthrax Delphi 9, which is also a different compound.
Okay.
So it's not explicitly it's not Delphi 9.
Well, maybe
because Delphi 9 is an actual real compound, and this is not that. So I'm going to close these tabs. But it is he's just calling it the wrong thing, or maybe he's making a reference to James Bond, and he thinks that Goldfinger is the 9th one, and also is it the 9th movie? I don't know.
I don't think it's the 9th movie because Sean Connery said. I think it's actually the 3rd movie.
James Bond movies in order. List of James Bond films. Yes, it is the 3rd one. All right, so close tab. Anyway, it's called Delphi 9, which is also a different compound, which it is not. Very good.
Amazing.
Sounds great.
Well, the one thing I just wanted to, this is not how the chapter concludes, but it is one thing I wanted to highlight to kind of bring a sort of conclusion to what we were talking about earlier. And that is before he goes on his big secret mission, before he meets Pope, before he is tasked with finding Delphi 9, which this is the like the hero's calling chapter of the book, I believe, where this is where he is tasked with his great adventure and he's going to spend the rest of his time finding it. He is given a few days of rest and relaxation, and it says that, he said, I decided not to waste any of my precious R&R time. At a party, a friend introduced me to a woman so beautiful I couldn't take my eyes off her. Luckily, I didn't have to. We didn't leave her bedroom for 3 whole days.
Tight.
And so you'd think it would just end there, like, I'm a sexy sex boy, and I do cool sex. But instead, it gets into this really weird thing where he talks about how, it's like, she could tell I was going to leave. I could sense it on her. Like, women can always tell when you're about to leave, but I'm a secret man. I'm a dangerous boy, and they can never understand me, so it's better to leave them before they get too close. And he goes on this whole, like, a chapter and a half, or not chapter and a half, but just a couple of paragraphs just about, like, it's like, and this has always happened to me if I'm either going to martial arts tournaments or the Kumite or working on Bloodsport. Like, they always think I'm being unfaithful, but I'm not. I'm like protecting my country. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. But he was like, whatever. This is for weaker men. Like, this is just something I will never be afforded. And it goes on for like a long time.
Oh no, Frank, that's so sad.
Yeah,
Your Honor, can I give Frank a hug? Because this is a bummer.
So it's like talking about this thing where it's like they start making up accusations about me, and he says one time I was even suspected of being an international criminal. That was much easier to imagine than being a spy. Spies belong to a fictional realm of novels and movies and couldn't possibly touch the world most people know, which is kind of him admitting a little. It's kind of him playing a little close to the vest, or kind of not close to the vest, but kind of opening us to the fantasy of this all. And
he's opening the non-Japanese kimono, if you will.
Yes, and he is kind of giving us a look into his own life, which reading this, I found to be pretty intimate, and I was very surprised that Frank let us into this part of his life. But
well, that's wonderful. I can't wait to hear more. I know that we have been dragging through these chapters, and honestly, one day this will come to a close, and so I'm just going to enjoy it while it lasts. But thank you for bringing me the secret.
Of course. I will continue to read. I will continue to update you guys. Maybe there's going to be a teeny break, or maybe I'll just have to find a way for us to go through it faster. I don't know. I'll have to read way more chapters and
No. It's great.
Okay, all right. Well, then we have several more weeks of this. Okay. But that's all I have. So thank you all so much for listening to Get Better. If you want to find us, you can find us on Instagram at Get Better Podcast. That's it, Get_Better_Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube. If you just type in Get Better Podcast, you can find our full episodes as well as clips. And if you want to reach out to us, you can find us at meetthefockers2 fockedup@gmail.com. That is meetthefockers2 fockedup@gmail.com. But If you're not going to get in contact with us, one thing that'd be really helpful is if you're listening to us on Spotify, please continue to do so. But if you're listening to us on iTunes, it'd be very helpful if you give us a rate and review. It really helps us get noticed. And yeah, that's all I have. So see you guys next week.
All right.
All right.
See you bye forever.
See you bye forever.